Hi, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Ramona, Shelby's mom.
We came to Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya on the 13th of January. And the very next day, we went to see the city, which was really interesting because in my mind, it's similar to New York City, like the hustle and bustle, but different at the same time, obviously missing all the lights. Learned a lot of history. I'm really grateful that we did the city tour first, just to get the initial feeling of the people. I think I learned at first that a lot of people mostly come to Africa just to see the animals, and they sometimes forget that there is a hustling and thriving city of people and a history that has evolved. And it was really interesting. I'm really happy that that was the first thing that we did.
I would say for people to not be afraid to come to Nairobi and explore the city itself before just jetting off to where the animals are, to take some time to learn about the culture, and also to not be afraid. The fear you may have in America is different than the fear you may have here in Nairobi, where you may feel that someone just wants to hurt you just for the sake of hurting you. You don't feel that here. You feel that maybe if there was going to be some sort of crime occurring, it's going to be due to the poverty that exists here and due to someone just lacking and being in need of whether it be food, or money to pay for something, but you don't feel like someone wants to just hurt you just to be hurting you.
I think after seeing that, it kind of opened us up to the next portion of our trip, which was when we went to Olentilly. And that was in Laikipia. Yep, that was in Laikipia. We were there for a week.
Yep, 5 days.
A week. That's the side country, like you said, and I am immediately greeted by two of our guides who are Maasai, and as well as the staff who greeted us with song and dance and food that was amazing. Even no matter where you are, the food has honestly been it's I think you see a lot of curry.
We haven't had a bad meal at all.
No, at all. But anyways, with I think getting over that initial hump of meeting the people here, you go to Maasai country and immediately you just want to learn more. You want to learn more about the different cultures and the differences and how it's evolved from maybe what it's been and what it still is, and then seeing how if you take a flight, it's something completely different, but that there's still a presence that exists no matter where you go. When we were in Maasai country, we got to see the homes, the differences in the homes, and the family structure and how that's different, but how everyone is still very open to everyone. They share what they have. The lack of water and resources, but how they still seem to make it work. The routine and structure that they have was also something, I think, to wake up every morning and not necessarily have the stores that are regularly available to you in the States or even here in Nairobi, but everyone still has a system like the market. That was something I think very enriching to see how everyone bands together just to give them the needs. It's not a souvenir shop.
It's the real deal.
Yeah.
Another thing that really stood out to me was you don't necessarily have to come here and do a separate safari experience. We did do a safari experience in Tanzania. However, we probably saw just the same amount of animals, if not more, just driving around the side country, just around the conservatory. So it's almost like it's a 2-in-1 deal. You can probably get away with not doing the safari and still see the giraffes, still see the elephants, still see the zebras. We saw hyenas, baboons,
leopards,
and that's all free. You're not going to have to pay anything extra. So a safari doesn't have to cost a whole lot of money, and a safari doesn't have to be something that is completely structured. You can totally experience that in the wild, naturally.
Yeah. because I think even if speaking to, you know, the Western side of things, we wanted comfort. So where we stayed was very high end, extremely high end, but and the service was impeccable. You have, you know, a butler and
Housekeeper.
yeah, housekeeper, and they're personal to you. Each home was personal to you, and I think the thing that we took the most from that was because of how personal it is, you make friends. So it's not.
You can't not care about these
Yeah,
people.
it's, you know, you come in and they offer a service, but it's really hard not to get to know their lives and their culture and understand what their day in and day out is, and just genuinely caring for them. You know, when you're in a resort that may be more westernized, is while you have privacy in the sense of no one really talks to anyone, what's the point in coming to another country not to fully immerse yourself into that
Absolutely.
and to get to know people in that way, especially when they're caring for you? It's
You truly come as a guest
Mhm.
and leave as friends,
yeah.
and you can't help to not be affected by the people that you meet and to consider them as lifelong friends.
Even any struggle they have in the day, and it's to, while we're doing one thing and enjoying
Mary.
our day. Yeah, one of our what
Mary,
yeah,
she was our housekeeper.
yeah,
She got a call.
She got a call and ended up finding out that 10 of her goats were killed by wild dogs. And it's just kind of surreal because you come to a place and you're thinking like, oh, I'm gonna see the animals and enjoy the food and
Have
buy
luxury.
some, yeah, and it's you find yourself really kind of hurting because for the people that you get to be around, you know, and seeing what they're going through, and then for her to come in, turn around hours
Right
later
after.
and still have the
Have a
same
smile.
smile on her face and the same work ethic, you know,
Yes.
and motivation, you know, even for her children. Like, it's just, you learn a lot about these people. So that, I think Lakipia was very rewarding in the sense of the culture as well as just seeing the animals, but I think the culture is in the people. I think the first place, well, Nairobi was probably the first place that we heard where people come for the animals, come back for the people. And that's very true. That rings true, and it has since we first arrived. So after Wikipedia, we went on to Tanzania, right? And that was what, from the 19th or the 20th to the 20th
Till today.
Yeah, today.
Till today.
Mhm.
So we were there
The
for 5
25th?
days,
Mhm.
Tanzania. Immediately you notice the difference in the temperature. That's one thing about this region. The temperature is not going to be the same wherever you go. There's going to be a range where here in Nairobi, it's very comfortable, it's dry, you might even need a jacket in the evening. The weather was the same in Laikipia, in Kenya, but then when you move to Tanzania, you can't help but to immediately notice the change in the temperature.
Humidity.
And it's very hot, it's very humid. But one other thing that really stands out is now you're dealing with a different culture. 90% of the population in Tanzania is Muslim. We were in Zanzibar. I'm not necessarily sure if that's true for the whole country of Tanzania, but it's definitely true for Zanzibar. So you have to dress a little bit more modestly. You need to keep that in mind, that you need to be respectful of the community, of the locals, and dress accordingly. However, when you're at the resort, you can really kind of relax and let loose and wear your bikini if you want.
Yeah.
But when you're out in the city, you really do need to be mindful of the people, and be respectful, of not only how you act but how you dress as well.
I would say it's very tourist heavy.
Very.
Very, very tourist heavy.
We were told that Zanzibar really is for tourists. It's not really for the locals.
Yeah, like Nungwi, I know that I spoke to a lot of the locals that were working at the resorts that we were at and made a lot of friends. Nungwi was like party town. I believe that they said it was, but when we first arrived to Nungwi, all you saw were the locals. And then as you started doing more of the activities, because there's the first thing you wake up to in the morning, we're having breakfast, and you see nothing but maybe tens of boats that are rushing to
get
catch
to
the
the
dolphins,
islands.
and
Yes.
you know, and it's like you're being told by the locals that are working where you're at, that they're trying to get the best snorkeling mask, and I think we came there thinking every day was going to be jam packed with an activity because it seems like every place there is to see, it's not so much more about the tradition. It was just about
The activity.
The activity, yeah.
The leisure.
And
you're definitely on holiday.
Definitely.
When you're in Zanzibar, it's not really. Well, it can be about the culture for someone like me who's into the culture.
You're looking for
I
it.
make it about the culture. But if you are not interested in culture, which is kind of similar to Nairobi, and you just want to go and see the animals, very similar to Zanzibar.
More beach activity, though. You're going to be
about
doing. Yeah, I mean, and then of course you could always do the safari tour and take a flight, to go to the Serengeti or
any of the national parks that they have.
Yeah, which we also did, and we're able to see at least some different things. The activities were amazing.
People again were amazing.
Once again. Yeah, I think you see a lot of. It's very vibrant. People have a lot of energy, even at night at Stone Town. Everybody comes and they gather, and
it's beautiful.
It really was. There was a lot of people.
You can't miss Stone Town.
The energy, the energy is just electric. You really don't miss it. But I think by the time that we got there, we weren't so interested in the activities, more so just kind of being and enjoying the beach and the people along the beach, as well as the water, which is just so warm.
Oh,
you don't want to leave that. The food, again, amazing. People, amazing. Overall, I think the trip has just been amazing.
And one thing I would really like to just say, for the 2 weeks that we were here in Africa, between the two countries of Kenya and Tanzania, on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as safety goes, I would have to say we were at a 9, easily. Even in the hustle and bustle of Stone Town, I never felt threatened. I never felt unsafe.
Which is why it's so important for you to really kind of jump in and get to see the people first and foremost, because it's in your head. It really is in your head. I think, if anything, I feel more on edge and more glares in the U.S. than I do here.
Absolutely.
Everyone here is brother or sister or mama.
And respectful.
And it's just, it's beautiful.
So if you're on the fence about coming to Africa, and in particular Kenya or Tanzania, do not hesitate. And one of the things, you can, at any price point, you can do this trip. You can do it budget, or you can do it luxury. So don't let the price deter you. Once you get here, and there's plenty of ways that you can get here on a budget, just pick the right time of the year. Once you're here, it's easy on your budget. There's something for everyone.